Okay, good afternoon for the partners in Asia and good morning for partners in Africa. This is Linda speaking, and I'm very glad to have this opportunity to introduce what's new for the new 20, and I will introduce the new features in Resource Manager 2026. Then I will share with you what features have already been planned in the upcoming version 2027. Okay, then I will share you guys some features on our roadmap. Okay, what's new in, what's in our 2026? Okay, so, actually there are three area in this new version. The first part is we provided some implementation tools, right? And the purpose, the goal is to make implementation easier than before. And the second part is we provide 7 APIs for Resource Manager. So because we keep receiving a requirement from market, the partners, the customers ask whether Resource Manager can have API that they can make Resource Manager integration with other systems, right? So now here they comes, right? We have 7 APIs, and we will continue add more APIs in Resource Manager to make the seamless integration possible with other systems. As usual, we keep to enhance our product, and in this new version, we add some new features across every suite, like the travel expense, Procure-to-Pay, and project management, and time management, and workflow, and more. Right? Okay, so let's uh, dive into the first part, implementation tools. The first function is copy ARM set of data utility. Okay, so if you go to our website, Norming, and go to either go to the product news or go to the first page, right? Latest news, you will see we have some, news about Norming, some upcoming events, some new news about our product, right? If you click into this Resource Manager 2026 is released, you will know all the new features that have been added in this version, right? You can see the right side, if it's navigation panel, you can see, okay, part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay, let's do the first part first. Okay, so the copy RM setup utility. Okay, so why we provide this utility? Because we know that a lot of Sage 300 customers, they have more than one database, right? They want to use Resource Manager in all of this database, right? And the setup and the settings are similar in all the companies, right? Without this tool, what they do for implementing the second and the more companies, they have to set up the first company, then export all the settings into Excel, and then import into the second and other companies, right? But with this tool, it's just the several clicks. Okay, I will show you how to do it. Okay, go to the Sage site, the backend. There is a menu called implementation tools, and we have just one icon under here, copy ARM setup data. It's quite straightforward, right? The first step is for you to, sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. The first thing you need to specify, okay, to which company you want to copy the settings, right? So I just select this database. Okay, then here, this part is for the database connection, like the server name, next the port, and login Sage SQL Server login ID and password. And you can a database name, right, for the COP2 company. Then you can click test. Okay. So yeah, I got some errors. So maybe I can't remember. I just forgot my password. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, now the password is correct. Now I receive an error. It tells me in the target, in the copy to company, resource manager 2026 has not been activated, right? So you cannot do it. So the first thing I need go to open that company, then activate the resource manager. Okay, so this is company I want to set up resource manager, right? The first thing I go to administrative service, then I need to activate resource manager 2026 right here. Okay, then hit proceed to activate resource manager 2026. Okay. There is several limitation or limit to use this function to prevent data corruption or data damage, right? So this tool can only be used for the case that resource manager is newly activated in the company, right? So now, okay, so that let me, like you can say just active resource manager, it's empty, just activated, right? Now I can go back to the company where resource manager already been set up. Okay, still go to the copy RM setup data. Then select copy to company, then my password and the database name, because I have made some tests. So the system kept the database name, right? Click, okay, it tells me connect successfully. There's some notes here, okay, so you can read it if it's the first time you use this utility. Then the second thing is to select which data you want to copy to the new company, right? Based on the settings in the current company, some folders from some menus might be hidden. Some folders will be visible because you know, if I did not use some modules, like I did not use custom requisition, I did not use project or something, that menu will not be displayed here. So okay, so now I just want to copy the expense into the target company. So I want all the setup information. So you select them. Then I want to copy employees to them. I want to copy workflow. I don't want to copy customer reports. I just want to copy travel and expense, right? Okay, so yeah, I just want to copy P2P tool. I want to copy the items, buyers, and the purchase type, right? So now you can say just select the settings you want to copy to, right? And he hits process button. It tells me the process cannot be rolled back. Are you sure you want to continue? Okay, so I hit yes. Now the system is doing the copy, all the setup data, employee profiles, setups under travel and expense suite, and setup for purchase requisition. All of them can be copied to the target company, right? Quite easy. Okay, it tells me you have been successfully copied to this database, UAENP. Okay, now let's go to the target company. Okay, now you can say we have all the options here being copied, right? And the modules just follow the settings in the source company process, which setup codes has been enabled. Just follow the source company in company, budget information, everything follow the source company, but you can make change here, right? And you can see the concepts has been copied too, right? Or the concept. And division, region, location, calendar, other things that have been copied, right? Also, the employees have been copied to this company. Okay, if you click on the folder, you can see now we have, yeah, this employees copied from the source company, right? Okay, so you can see how easy it is to set up a new company. Okay, any question here about? Yeah, we have some prerequisites, right? Override all the RM settings in the target database to prevent data loss or corruption. So only the companies in which resource manager is newly activated can be selected as a target company. So that's the only limit for using this tool. Okay. If I did too quick, you can just read this page to understand how to use this tool. It gives a very detailed steps here, right? Okay, so next utility is approve workflow wizard, right? Why we provide this feature? Because we received I think maybe 1/3 of the emails from partners about workflow. Okay, maybe if they are new to resource manager, they ask me, okay, how to use this feature, how to use the workflow, how to define workflow, and how to set a workflow. So I think yes, it may be a little bit difficult to new consultants, right? So we just provide the step-by-step wizards to help you to easily use to set up the workflow. Right. Okay, so let's go to the approve workflow. Okay, let me just go to my previous company. Okay, go to workflow and go to workflows. Right. So before you use the work wizard, there are some prerequisites. You need finish setting the global options, finish setting some the icons under the setup menu, finish setting the employee, because workflow is all about approvers, right? So without employees defined, there's no approver can be selected for workflow, right? So you must define employees first. Okay, so if you want to send the email alert, you must define the email template before setting up workflow, right? Okay, so here also, if you want to use some approval group as approval step, you need to define the employee group first. Okay, then you are good to go to use the wizard. Okay, now let's go to the workflow. Here you can see now we have this wizard button. Click it. Yeah, it will give you an information screen, tells you, okay, not all the workflow can be created through the wizard, but the good thing is you can just use this wizard to create some basic workflow, then can modify the workflow created by the wizard, right? Okay, now you can see we can support this type of workflow. We also support some condition-based workflow. But if you can say in a condition, if a case their approvals are different in one case, it cannot be supported by the wizard. And also for this type of workflow cannot be created directly by the workflow. But as I said, you can create a workflow like the example 2, then modify the workflow to make it to the example 4. Okay, so if you want to skip this page, select skip this page next time, then click start. Okay, so here are some basic information like, okay, so what type of transaction you want to define workflow for. Now I want to define a workflow for expense report. So XP workflow 2 report for maybe for a domestic travels expense report. Okay, so here are some default email template. You can specify them. So it's to approve. They send to the next approver. If you want to use a transfer capability, you need to specify a transfer reminder. If you want to use endorsement capability, you need to specify a report, the template for endorsement request. Okay, here are some notes for two, right? Okay, then hit the next. Next step is to define the first approval step. Okay, so for the first approval step, whether it's approver. Okay, here I give an example. I want to use the wizard to create a workflow like this. This workflow will has 3 steps. The first step is approve one, supervisor. The second step is division manager, and the third step is a conditional based workflow. I want to have 3 cases. If the expense total greater than $2,000, it goes to general manager to approve. If the expense total is between $500 US and less than $2,000 US, it goes to finance FM manager to approve. Okay, so if the expense total is less than 500, no approval should be done approve for the third step. Okay, so now the first step is to create to define the approver as supervisor, right? Okay, so it's approver, right? Because based on the information here, it's approver. Okay, I just put it here so I can refer to it, right? Okay, so it's approver and it's a supervisor, right? And it will give you a default process ID. And if you can modify it if you want, right? You can say the default email templates, because in Resource Manager, every step can has different notification. So if you want to modify the email notification for this step, you can just modify the email template, right? Okay, so that's the first step is done, right? Quite easy. The next step, you can see now the screen is approval step 2. It's still not approval, right? It's division manager. So it's a division manager, right? And modify the process ID if required. And you can modify the email notification, right? You can click the preview button at any time to see whether, okay, yeah, it's correct. Start, submit, right? Supervisor, then division manager. Okay, so now just only 2 steps defined. So you can see only 2 approvers here. Okay, so next step is a condition step, because the third step, I want to create a condition with 3 cases, right? So here, yeah, it's a condition. Okay, so now I can add a case, right? Click the add case button here. So you can say default everything. You can have all the defaults name, but you can modify them if required. Right, case 1. You can, if you are familiar with define case, you can just write a formula here. But if you are not good at create formula, right? Don't worry, we provide a formula generator for you. Just use select a field to create your condition, right? So I want to use a field called, okay, expense total. So click the finder here. I want to, okay, total, right? Okay, expense total, right? Select it. If it's the first case is greater than 2,000, right? It's greater than 2,000, greater than equal to 2,000. All right, add to editor. Right, you can see now the case is done. Verify it. Right, no error is found. And under this case, it will need general manager to do approval. Okay, so to create a case, there are always 2 steps. The first step is create condition, right? We call it a formula. And the second step is to, okay, under this condition, under this case, who will do the approval? What's the action? Okay, so go to the approval page. It's a GM. Okay, so the GM is ready. So okay, so now save it. I can say case 1 has been created. You can just add more case 2, right? It's less than 2,000. Add to here, and the same, and the greater than and equal to 500, right? Add to here. It's and, right? When there is already some condition in the editor, it will tell you, okay, what's the relationship between these two conditions, right? Say it's and, so the amount must be less than 2,000 and greater than 500, right? So that's the case 2. Verified, it's correct. Okay, then under case 2, it's finance manager. Okay, I want to say it's still finance manager. It's okay, maybe it's Miller. Okay, save it. Right, we can add case 3. So it's less than $500, right? Add to editor. Okay, so under case 3, no extra approval is required, right? So I just select the end. Okay, save it. Now you can say all the 3 cases have been created easily, so we can have a preview, right? Okay, so I just adjust the icons here. Case 1, case 2, right? Start, submit. First approver, supervisor, then division manager, then condition. Case 1 is greater than greater or equal to 2,000 goes to general manager, right? Case 2 between 2,000 and 500, it goes to this finance manager. Then if it's less than 500, it goes to end. Right? You can see now this workflow has been created, right? All the 3 steps have been generated. I can just click the finish button. Okay, you can say, yeah, all the information in the workflow screen have been maintained by the wizard automatically. We have the default notification, and we have the workflow here, right? Start process. If you want to preview, yeah, it's still here, right? Okay, save it, right? So we also made another improvement in the workflow here. So now you can see we have 3 buttons under the workflow table. We call it edit, new approver, new addition. Previously, if you want to add a new approver, you have to use the insert button, right? And if you want to also use always use add an insert button to add a new step, right? But now we have some icon for you to add the information, right? And if you want to edit any step, you can just highlight this step, then click the edit button. You will see, okay, so this is the first step, right? Yeah, its role is approver is supervisor, right? The next step is division manager, and here is the email template, right? Okay, so that's the workflow wizard. I think it's quite straightforward. Okay, any questions here? Okay, you can also type your question in the chat box if you want. Okay, so now let's go to the next new feature under the other optimizations, right? Okay, so yeah, we made some other optimizations. I put them under the implementation optimization because these improvements can help to optimize the implementation process, right? The first, the first,
Linda,
yeah.
there is one question. I don't know whether you want to answer now or later.
Okay.
Basically, for copy company, what if the target company does not have all the items from the source company?
Items, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
will it skip or give error? Yes.
A very good question. Okay, so actually, you can say when I do the copy just now, actually I copy the P2P I copy the purchase type, right? But if you go to the target company, that's a very good question, Sharon. Thank you. I forgot to mention that actually. Okay, so but if you go to the target company, right? If you go to the P2P, you will not see the purchase type, right? Because when I do the copy, I did select the purchase type, but why it's not here? Because you know the purchase requisition, it requires Sage 300 purchase order, but you can see in this Sage database, the Sage PO is not activated. So even if you selected to copy the purchase requisition settings, but it will not be displayed here because the required items are not here. Okay. We do not do the checking at the copy time because there are too many tables. It's hard to do the validation every at every there are more than several hundred tables, right? So but when you go to the target company, the system will check. Okay, you set up to enable purchase requisition, but PO is not here, so it just disable purchase requisition. So it will not create any problem. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's move to next item. It's yes group, right? So what's the improvement is made here is that in previous version, yes group is tagged to Sage 300 company, right? So which means if you have 5 Sage company want to use resource manager, you will create at least 5 yes groups, even if all the settings are the same, right? But now in the new version, we make the yes group independent of entities. So for the example I gave you just now, only one yes group is required, right? So makes the implementation process more easily, right? Okay, so that's the yes group. Okay, so yes user. Okay, so several improvements has been done to yes user. The first one is to improve the layout, right? Because you know, I always receive email about ask me, okay, so if as a user, it's an approver. This approver might approve documents from multiple Sage companies. So how many licenses will normally count? I said, okay, if the user ID and the password are the same, this person will become counted as one user license, right? So for that case, we just but for every Sage 300 company, resource manager will create account under that Sage company, right? So that's the case. So now you can say for the GM, the user ID is 1010, right? But GM has access to 3 Sage companies, right? In previous version, you will see 3 records for GM in the yes user. But now we just move we just display entities column here. Say, okay, GM has access to these 3 entities. Right, so let's go to the system. Right, go to the yes user. Oh, sorry, it's timeout. Okay. It's a little bit strange when the MS Team is used. The saves my resource of my computer. Okay. Now it's GM, right? You can say there are 3 company. If you put your mouse on one of the entity, you will see a pop-up information. It's a sample company INC, and this is our demo company, and we have another company. If you put your mouse there, you will see a pop-up information, right? So you can click into one entity, you will see the settings for this user and under this entity. Yeah, under this entity. right? Okay. So yeah, the first improvement is improve the layout of the ESS user list. Okay, and the second improvement is, okay, so yeah, that's a request from our partners. I made some change in one entity, but I want to copy the change to other entities. And previously, you will have to do the change in one company after another. It's very, it's a little time consuming. So now in this new version, when you do, when you make some change in one database, and when you hit the save button, right, the system will pop up a message, say, okay, do you want to apply the change to other entities, right? So if you select yes, then this screen will pop up for you to select, okay, which information you want to, which the changes you want to copy to which other entities, right? So you can say, select them, then click apply. The changes can just push to other entities without do the modification one company after another. Okay, so that's the second improvement for the ESS user. And the next improvement is license user, right? I'm not sure whether you guys know that in the license information screen, there is the active user column, and you can click into it. It will display, it shows you, okay, which users use this module, the expense report, web expense, right? Okay, so here is a user ID, and for each user, which state companies they has access to, right? So just improve the display, the layout here. Okay, so here is the another improvement for entity, right? Okay, so now we have a flag called inactive, right? This case is very, this feature is very useful. So before you when you implement resource manager for your client, right? You must do the implementation in a test company, right? After make sure everything is correct, then you'll go live, right? So so you after you made the test passed in the test company, if without this inactive feature, you will have to disable the ESS users ESS accounts that's you created for the test company, right? One by one, or right. But now you can just make the test company inactive. So all the accounts under the inactive entity will be disabled. So you do not need to make those ESS user accounts disabled one by one, right? So make some, test company inactive. Okay, so the second one is previous version, when you create a new, when you implement resource manager in a new Sage company, the first thing of course, you need to create a new entity, right? Then you need to create a ESS user through the ESS user, through the ESS, through the ESS user screen, right? You have to create user from here, but now it allows you to create user from here, from the entity, right? You can say after you create a new entity, you will see there is a add user button that is to add user accounts from this screen, from here, right? Without the need to go to the ESS user. Okay, so if you click the add user button, it will the system will display this screen for you to specify which employee you want to create user accounts for. Okay, what's the user ID and a password, right? Okay, so that's all the optimizations we made to help you guys to do implementation. Any questions for the part one? Okay. Okay, so, don't worry, you can stop, you can just tell me your questions or type your question here. Okay, so let's move to the second part, API, right? Okay, so the API, the purpose, of course, is to make seamless integration with other systems possible, right? And in the 2026, we released the 7 APIs for these transactions. Yeah, the most popular transactions, right? Requisitions, expense report, timesheets, purchase requisition, pure receipt, pure invoice, AP invoice, and the sales quotation. And the API provides a two-way data synchronization. We have one called push. Push means from external system to push their data into resource manager. We also provide a pull data synchronization. This data synchronization, which means you can grab data from resource manager and push to external systems. Okay, we have some, specifications. If you want to use the API to create integration with other systems and send email to me, or you can go to our resources and technical resources. You will find the technical specification on how to use the API. Okay, so let's move the third part, new features. Okay, so actually we made enhancement in every suite. Let's go to the first suite, travel and expenses. Actually, we made quite a few new features in the travel and suite in this version. There are 4 improvements made to travel request, right? The first improvement is provide the budget checking capability in travel request. But previously, there is no budget in travel request, only the budget checking in expense report. But when the staffs claim expense, right? Actually, all the expenses have been incurred, right? So you cannot control. You must want to. So for most of the company, they want to do expense control before the expenses have been incurred, right? So that's here, right? We can use a travel request to do budget control before expense happen. Okay, so if we want to use the budget checking capability in travel request, you should go to the travel request tab and select enable budget checking. Then you need to select expense report type, because about budget checking, there are a lot of settings like, okay, whether you want to use GL account budget checking or PTC budget checking or resource manager expense limit checking, right? So yeah, we want to simplify the settings. You only need to select expense report type. Then all the budget settings will follow the settings you defined in the expense report type, right? You can see we add a lot of notes here. Okay, so when this is just a default expense report type, right? When you create a new travel request, you still have a chance to change to another expense report type to use different budget settings. If you so after select the expense report type, you will say we have a budget button. We have a check limit button here, right? Yeah, sorry, goes too fast, right? So if the budget checking is enabled for travel request, you will see the check limit button, just similar like the one in expense report. Right? You will see the either general budgets or expense norming budgets or PTC budget. It depends on how you setting the system, right? Okay, so that's the feature in the first new feature, budget checking capability in travel request. Okay, so the second improvement for travel request is allows you to calculate tax. Right. Previously, you can just enter a estimate amount, but your customer might ask you, this estimate amount, is it does it include tax or not? Okay, so now it's clear. If you want to maintain the tax amount in travel request, you can select calculate tax here, right? And then you will say, okay, the tax related information in travel request. Here's a note here. Okay, so if budget checking is enabled, the calculate tax option will be hidden because in the expense report type, there is tax calculation settings. So just follow the tax calculation features in the expense report type. Okay. The third improvement is, okay, we display two additional columns, claim amount and outstanding amount. So what is claim amount? Here is a explanation. Claim amount means, okay, the expense amount claimed in related expense report, not all the expense reports, only with the status of submitted, approved, and posted. So if a staff just enter the expense report type report, but without submitting it, so it's still a draft, will not be counted into the claimed account, right? So outstanding, yeah, it's obviously it's the total amount, estimate amount minus the claimed amount. Okay, so yeah, you can see there is a hyperlink for the claimed amount. If you click into it, it will display, okay, in which expense report the amount has been claimed, right? So it will show you, okay, which expense report. You can also, there's also a hyperlink for expense report. You can click it to view the expense report. Okay, the last new feature is to copy travel request. So for some company, they have some regular travel plans, right? Always from the one city, one office to another office to one city to another city, right? Just the time, the dates and time that is different, right? So you can just copy the existing travels, then just change the date, right? So you do not need to enter everything from scratch, right? So that's the copy travel request. Okay, so if you click the copy travel request, you will see this screen. Allows you will need to say, okay, from which existing travel request you want to copy from, and which information you want to copy, whether to copy itinerary, estimate, or advance amount, right? And you can specify the travel from dates. Then all the dates in the itinerary will be changed automatically, right? To use the from date and automatically calculate the to date. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, any questions here about travel request? Okay.
Linda,
Yeah.
there's one asking for API, any document to show what are the endpoints, those API.
Okay, I will send you the okay, it's Paul, right? Paul, you want to know, okay, API?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I will send the link to EAA, and when they send out the recording of this webinar, we will provide the link to download the API document. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so let's move to next new feature, expense report. There are several new features added to expense report. The first one is to do the duplicate expense checking, right? So yeah, it's to prevent let's say if a staff claim the same expense twice, right? Previously, it's hard to identify for the approvers or for the finance staff to check, okay, whether there's some duplicate expense has been claimed, right? Now let's assist to help you with that. All you need to do is to define the rules here. Okay, what is duplicates? expense, right? So if you want to use this feature, go to the expense options and go to this part, duplicate expense checking rules. Then you can, the first step is to give this rule a name. Let's say, okay, I want to check when the amount, date, and expense are the same, I call it a duplicate expense, right? So you can give it a name, then click the this button here to display the screen, right? You will say the second step is when the system identifies duplicate expense, whether you want system give you error or warning or ignore it, right? Okay, so that's how to check it. Then the third step is to define, okay, which elements are duplicate, you call it duplicate expense. So from my example, I said, okay, if the detail, the expense amounts are the same and the expense date are the same, I think it's duplicate. So you can just add all the fields in the left panel can be used to define the duplicate rules, right? Then you then select them into the right panel here, right? Select fields. Okay, so the system will how the system to check duplicate expense, comparing the combine the values of all the selected fields, right? Okay. So yeah, when you finish the define a rule, now we allows you to define up to 4 duplicate rules, right, across the whole company, across all the employees. Or if you want to just do the duplicate checking for one employee, you can make the employee ID as one of the checking value, right? Okay, so yeah, select the fields you want to check, then you want to assign, because if you already have some expense codes created in the system, you want to assign the rules to those existing expense codes. Just click the assign button to assign the rules to those expense codes. And of course you can modify the rules for individual expense code, right? So you can say under the expense options, we have the, so let me go to the, yeah, you can see we have the checking rule. You can assign it, right? Click button, assign it. But you can say if you go to the setup expense codes, you can maintain the rule for every expense code, right? Okay. You can also copy the one you defined in options. Okay, so that's the duplicate expense checking. And the second feature is, okay, when now, Resource Manager already provides a number of, methods to check expense limit, right? Now in the previous version, you can check expense limits on monthly basis, yearly basis, year-to-date basis, and daily basis. Okay, so we received some requirements from the market. What if I want to use daily average limit? Okay, so what is daily average limit? Here, give you an example. Okay, so say if you have daily limits on expense A is $50 US, now you can claim expenses for expense A from 5th to 8th, right? So under the daily basis method, the expense A claimed on every single day within this day range cannot be greater than $50, right? But if you use the daily average, right? So if the total expenses in this day range divided by the number of days in this day range does not exceed $50, we call it's okay. So it get passed, right? It's very useful to say, okay, so if I go traveling, I have some, daily limit for meals, right? But for some day, I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to eat. I just eat 2 meals, right? But on the other day, I want to eat. I want to have a big meal, right? For that case, this daily average case can help, right? Because in the second day I save some money, but I can use the saving money for the third day to use, right? So that's the daily average. Okay, so you can go to our websites to see, okay, how the daily average checking is done by the system. Okay, so if you want to use this new feature, you need to select enable use daily average limit, right? The reason we add this option because if you enable the daily average limit, when you enter expense details, you need to specify a from date and to date, right? But if you don't use the daily average, there is only one date in expense detail, makes the layout simple. Okay, so yeah, so enable this. Then in the expense codes here, there is a expense limit tab. You will see, okay, for this specific expenses, I want to use the daily average method to check the limit, right? And when the system do number of this check calculation, whether it include from date, whether include to dates or both dates will be included, right? You can do the settings here. All right, okay, so yeah, the third improvement is for provide the attachment checking capability at expense level. Okay, it's about 1 hour past. Okay, so Jingfang, there's only about 35 minutes left, right?
Yes, we set at 4:30. Yeah.
Okay, so I must go fast, right? Okay. Okay, so provides the attachment checking at expense detail level. Previously, you only have this capability at the document level. Now you have the detail level. Okay, so display a total amount under the travel budget here. Okay, advanced, we allow you to define pay codes, just like you do in AP payment. Right? Okay, so now if you use cash advance, you want to when cash advance is posted, you want to send an email alert to somebody in your organization. Now this feature is ready. If you want to use this feature, go to the expense options, right? Go to cash advance page and okay, specify which person you want to send notification to during posting process. Okay, where to attach a report. If you want to attach a report, right? Specify a report file name here. Okay, so go to P2P. The first improvement for purchase requisition is we improve the RFQ function, request for online request for quotation, right? It provides the 3 discount related fields for suppliers. When they provide quotation, then can provide you with discount, right? So if you want to use this feature, then you need to go to yes user or yes group to go to the RFQ panel. Here, RFQ, we have 3 rows here. Okay, whether you want to display these fields for vendors, suppliers, whether it's editable, right? Okay, so then if this fields, if you make those fields visible, when you send out RFQ to suppliers will see the 3 columns and it can maintain the discount, right? Okay, so yeah, second one is some weight related columns available in this version, right? With UM, weight, and extended weight. Okay, and yeah, previous version, there is only one report format for all the purchase requisition, but with the requirements says, okay, we want different report format for different type of purchase request. Okay, now here you go. If you want to use this feature, you go to the purchase type and say, okay, I want to use multiple report format in ESS portal, right? So specify default reports for this purchase type. Okay. And if you have more formats, you want to define your own reports, you can click this question mark here. It will tell you, okay, what parameters the web PR can pass can pass values for, right? Here explanation for every parameter. Okay. So if this feature is enabled, when you hit the print button in the ES portal, this screen will pop up for you to select which report format you want to print use with. Okay. So yeah, next feature is improve the budget screen to only display the records that approvers have permission to. Right. Here's the example. If approver, there are 4 details in a PR, but approver A can only view 2 of them. In previous version, approver A can view the budget details, budget information for all the 4 details. But now with the improvement, the approver A can only view the budget for okay, so for where it goes, yeah, for 2 of them, right? Okay, so the next improvement is now you can enable all the 3 budget checking at the same time. Previously, if you want to use a budget, if you want to use GL budget checking, you cannot use PDSA. If you want to use PDSA, you cannot use GL. In previous version, I mean, but now in this version, you can use all of them at the same time. Okay. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure whether you guys know that you can define the delete action for the PR, right? Whether you want to delete them permanently or just mark the PR as deleted. Okay, so if you mark them, if you use this delete action, mark them as deleted. Now we maintain 2 more information, deleted by and the deleted date. If you want to see the information, you can print the purchase requisition status report. You will see, okay, okay, this PR has been deleted because it's a status, right? Who deleted it and when it was deleted? Okay. Okay, 7, improve the finder to provide 2 more columns and provide the fuzzy search capability. And also we provide the SQ, a quantity on SQ information in PR. Okay, PO invoice, improve finder to display totals. And now we have a drill down button on the PO invoice. You can drill down to the purchase requisition. Yeah, only if the PO is generated is created by resource manager, you can drill down to the PO. Okay. AP invoice. Now you can maintain a discount in AP invoice. And yeah, you have more filters in the backend to filter AP invoice requisition. And AP payment, we provide some permission control right here. Say whether you allow a specific user, whether allow them to add details for miscellaneous payment or remove details for miscellaneous payment, right? And the payment total is displayed in the list here, right? Okay. Then we see other requisitions. We have AR invoice. We provided the ship to location on the AR invoice screen, and we allows you to create retainage AR invoice. Previous version you cannot create it, but there is a limit for retainage invoice. You're only allowed to specify the flag, right? You cannot maintain other retainage related fields because there are a lot of retainage fields, but we don't have enough time. And another reason is that there's only a small amount of users, customers are using retainage. So we just put our resources on the function that more customers use, right? Okay. If you want to use this feature, you need to enable this user to make this flag is visible and editable. Okay, another good feature is we provide, as you guys know, Sage GL allows you to create some recurring GL entry, right? And previously you have to when you log in Sage, Sage scheduler pops up for you to manually hit a generate button to create a recurring entry, right? And now we create a scheduler for the GL recurring entry. So you want to use this feature, you go to the admin portal and go to the scheduler and create a schedule for recurring GL entry, right? And specify frequencies and which entity and who is requester and yeah, whether you want the system to automatically submit when the recurring GL entry is created, whether you want the system to automatically submit the GL entry requisition for you. Okay. Then leave request will provide the attachment checking capability, right? Like if you have sick leave, you must provide some proof that the hospital give you to prove that you are sick, right? Okay. So that's PDC contract maintenance. Now you can create previously when you I'm not sure whether you guys know that we have a PDC contract maintenance requisition allows you to create PDC contract or update the PDC contract. And yeah, in previous version, you can also convert that sales quotation into a PDC contract requisition. But previously, you have to, if you want to convert a SQ to a PDC contract requisition, you have to do the creation from SQ screen. But now you can do it from the PDC contract maintenance screen. If you click new, there's transaction tab called convert SQ as PDC contract, right? Then you can select the SQ and then create a PDC contract from it. Okay, workflow. Okay, so yeah, we have more option for unsubmit requisition. Previously, if you submit a request, right, you can join back right away if no approver has approved it, right? But if any approvers approve this request, you cannot join back, right? That's the feature in previous versions. But a lot of customer came to our partners and said, okay, even one of the approvers approved it, I still want to join back because I found there's some problem with it, right? Why you keep the arrow goes to next approver? Yeah, we think it's reasonable, right? So now the system provides this option for you to decide whether to allow staff to draw back their request, even if there is some of their approvers have approved the request, right? Okay, so if we want this feature, just enable it. Okay, then employee groups, right? You guys know we have an employee group, right? Which can be selected as one approved staff. And previously, you have to add the staff's employees into the group one by one. But now we allows you to add the employees by use the customer role. That actually it's a SQL query, right? So you can see it's very flexible. Okay. Okay, yeah, we provide more standard variables in decision and to create a continual workflow for travel request and travel request cancellation will provide the whether RM limit is exceeded parameter, right? And for these transactions, we'll provide another variable called GL budget, GL account budget exceeds, right? You can use it in your workflow. And whether PDC estimate or budget is exceeded, right? You can use this variable in these transactions, right? Whether RM budget has been exceeded, you can use it in purchase requisition. Okay, we have some other improvements. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you guys know we have the substitute employees in admin portal. I think you guys all you know that we have the substitute function in the employee portal. Let's say if I want to go traveling, I can find someone in my company to do approval or other things on my behalf, right? You can go to here to do substitute employees. But what if I forget to define the substitute employees, right? But there, because I'm an approver, right? So many requests might stuck at when I'm because of my absence, right? So for that case, the system administrator, they can define the substitute on your behalf. Go to admin portal and go to the substitute users and just define substitute users on my behalf when I'm not in the office. I forgot to define a substitute user, right? Okay, so yeah. The good things, okay, so the new feature is when you define the substitute user in one database, you can apply the settings to other entities, right? We have to apply to other entities. Okay, so yes, login, we made some improvement to the two-factor authentication, right? Previously, there's only one segment, but sometimes maybe the email sent too slow. You wait for quite a long time, you still has not received the verified code, then you receive another, then you click the send button to send another verified code, right? So you are confused. Okay, I got two email about verified code, which one should I use? So for this case, we make the verified code two segments, right? So based on the first segment, you will get to know, okay, which one is valid for now, right? Okay, so when you hit the send verification code, you will receive this email. Okay, the first segment is ZPR. The second segment is this one. So the first one you do not need to maintain it because the system will display it automatically. Okay, report naming. So as you know, employee portal provides the report printing capability, right? But in previous version, all the file you export with the same name, Crystal Viewers PDF. It does not make sense. You have to modify the name each time, right? But now we have improved this feature to have some report naming for these transactions. So for the P2P, for the transactions under P2P suite, we use this naming rule. Document number and document number. Okay, it's a prefix. It's a fixed segment, right? Then it's the true document number for the reports you for the request you are printing, right? Then it's a vendor. Then it's vendor number. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so here is an example, right? 4 segments. So that's some naming rules for all the transactions. You can go to here to see the detailed naming rules. And yeah, we add 2 more fields for the requisition status report to display submitted date and approval date. And the email alerts, we add 2 more options. Read receipt, whether you want to receive a receipt, whether you want to make this email as a high priority. If you want to make it a priority, just select the option. Okay. Then yeah, we add one more recipient, right? Now if all the standard recipient cannot meet your requirement, you can use the customer realm to defend to get the recipient email with SQL query. Okay, and now we allow you to upload attachments for approved and posted requests for these transactions, right? in previous version, when a NAM request is approved, you cannot upload report attachment for them, but we got a lot of requirements. Okay, even if a request has been approved, I want to add some supporting documents for them. So can you provide this feature? Yes. So yes, it can. So even if those requests have been approved or posted, you can still upload a attachment for them. If you want to use this feature, you need to define the options here. Here, go to you want to allow to upload attachment for posted or approved PR. You should go to user group or users. Now you can see we have the upload attachment for approved or posted status, right? Remove attachment for posted and approved attachment request, right? So there are some settings. Okay, we provide one more web screen, employee register for CG300 web screen for resource manager backend, of course, and at sort by feature here, and for the customer report type. Now we have 4 buttons for you to easily move the position of the parameter in the employee portal, right? Previously, you have to remove all of them, then re-add the parameter. That's very, hardworking. So that's very, very boring. So now, right, you have these buttons. You can easily move the position of the parameters. And we for these transactions in Resource Manager, they only needs system 300 system manager and 1 pack. You can run all of these transactions. And the CG300 integration, it integrates from version 6 to the latest version 2026. All of the versions, 6 versions listed here can work with Resource Manager 2026. Okay, so that's the new features in Resource Manager 2026.